Hey, good afternoon, Search Funder. My name's Joseph Morosco. I'm with Business Valuation Resources. BVR provides the deal stats platform that you will see on the Search Funder website. I've been with BVR for over 16 years now. I guess at the end of this year, it'll be 17 years. I'm a senior account executive for BVR. Um, Business Valuation Resources is a data and content provider for the valuation and financial industries. We have customers in, like I said, valuation, M&A, private equity, investment banking, lawyers. We really cross many different types of clients. Our core client is going to be the valuation customer. And what we do is we provide a wide range of products, whether we're looking, a customer is looking for private company transactions, or maybe they're looking to do a cost of equity calculation or guideline public company type of research. Maybe they're looking to get some insights into methodology and know-how for doing specific types of valuations. So really, for small private company valuation, Business Valuation Resources is the go-to source to get your data, get your content. We even are very popular among the community with continuing education. So we do provide weekly webinars surrounding all sorts of topics and issues with valuation. And so again, BVR, we're a publisher, and so our main focus is providing quality content, valuation data, continuing education to our client base. 3 or 4 years ago, BVR partnered with Search Funder. You may recall in our sort of initial data provision to Search Funder searchers, we were providing industry summary details. So you could search for industry using up to a 6-digit NAICS code. And then we would provide you with industry benchmarking data. So average, multiples, etc. Now, as we've sort of advanced in our partnerships, BVR is now providing access to our underlying transactions, so you can see what the deals are that lead to those benchmarking statistics. And so my goal today is to sort of walk you through best practices for using deal stats on the Search Funder platform. And also go into some detail on some of the data that you can actually get from our transaction reports, which may be helpful as you're starting to do some of your research. So the focus today, obviously, is deal stats. So deal stats is BVR's flagship product. It is a private transaction database with over 46,000 deals in the database. The database, as you can see, is searchable by hundreds of different industries. You can search, at a high level NAICS code all the way up to a 6-digit NAICS code on the Search Funder platform. It might be helpful to kind of understand how deal stats works and where deal stats receives the data. And so we work with hundreds of business intermediaries throughout the U.S. and even internationally, and we've built up what we call a contributor network. And so this network has been built upon for the last 3 decades, maybe even longer than that. And so how it works is, let's say a business broker, for example, they would submit their deal data to BVR, and then we would have a team on hand, or do have a team on hand, that would vet the data. They work one-on-one with the broker to ensure that the data is correct and that the quality of the data is there. Once the deal is approved, it goes into a model which essentially double vets the data, and then it's fed into the deal stats database. So over 80% of the transactions that you'll see in the deal stats database are going to be provided to BVR from our network. The other 20% or so of the deals and deal stats are going to be deals that you can retrieve on public filings. So SEC filings, SEDAR up in Canada, etc. So those are going to be deals where you have a public buyer of a private target or a public buyer of a public target. And again, that's about 20% of the deals in the deal stats database. What truly makes BVR unique and what makes deal stats unique and why it's our flagship product is BVR is providing up to 200 data fields or even more at this point on actual private deals. So these are deals that you're not going to find necessarily anywhere else out there, and that's really what makes deal stats unique and why this is such a huge advantage for searchers on this platform. And so what my plan is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. And I want to just sort of walk through the platform, walk you through a transaction report, and then go into a little bit more detail on the benefits of using deal stats data. So I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to shrink myself. There we go. So when you're on the Search Funder platform, we can actually kind of start from the beginning here. So you'll have Search Funder, we'll have our live feed, etc. And then we will go up to the menu and we'll select BVR transactions. So what BVR transactions is going to do is it's going to take you to a search engine where you can look for actual transactions in the deal stats database. So I could go and I could type in a transaction description if I'm not quite sure what the industry code may be, or I can go and put in a NAICS code. The reason it's giving you two different inputs is you can do a minimum NAICS code and a maximum. So like I said earlier, we'll cover up to a 6-digit NAICS code. So if you know what you're looking for, you don't have to put a minimum and a maximum, but maybe if you're looking for the maximum amount of output, you could put in, let's say we're looking for HVAC companies, you could put in the minimum NAICS code of 238 and then the maximum of 238220, for example. And so you can see that here. If I put in 23822, and it'll pull up a menu and it'll show you. So if you don't know the exact code, or maybe you want to look at something different, or in addition to, you could do that. But I can find plumbing, heating, and air conditioning contractors right here, and I know that's what I'm looking for. So I can select my NAICS code. If I want to put in a minimum EBITDA or maximum EBITDA, revenues, etc., you can see some of the other inputs that you can use. What I like to do and what I tell my customers is, search by the NAICS code first and see what kind of results you get. And then if you want to start narrowing those results down, maybe put in a minimum EBITDA or a minimum revenue to narrow those results down. But I have access to these transactions right away in my view. So you can see the database is or your results are going to be populated by the most recent 500 transactions from the deal stats database. And so you can look here at some of the statistics. Obviously, you're going to have some of the usual suspects, right? So you have EBITDA and revenues, discretionary earnings, etc., margins. Now, if this particular deal looks like something that you might want to dive further into, then you can scroll over here to the See Details. And it's going to provide you with access to the entire transaction report. This is kind of where I was going back to BVR providing the most amount of detail and depth with the transactions. And so there's not a lot of gray space here. We're not the large private equity type database where you pull up a deal and it's got 5 data fields or maybe 8 data fields. These transaction reports are going to provide you up to 200 data points that you can look at for the deal. So you can see here, you're going to have your transaction info. transaction data, income and balance sheet, purchase price allocation, etc. I do want to point out the source data section. If it is truly a private deal, the source is going to be typically the brokerage firm or the intermediary firm. Sometimes the broker or the intermediary's name will be provided and a location. And so you will see that here. If it's a private deal, because of non-disclosures, oftentimes the name of the target is not going to be provided. So you'll still see a business description, where that deal took place, etc. But you may not get the name of the company. Now, if it's public, obviously, like I pulled this deal from the SEC filings, or if I got this deal from SADAR or whatever, then the source data would show the links and provide the links to the data source, so that you can look at the data, vet the data, but you can also tell that it's a public buyer. So the buyer will be provided, the target will be provided, etc. So as I scroll down, like I said, you're going to start seeing some of the meat and potatoes of this transaction. So you'll get the transaction data, your income and balance sheet, purchase price allocation, if that's provided. Any future current historical earnings will be listed here. What's really nice about deal stats is we have this additional notes sections in our transaction reports, and this is where BVR or the user, or not the user, but the contributor can provide more details about the transaction. So you can see here, like, what the deal terms may be, or if there was an SBA loan, or if there was a non-compete, or maybe they go into more detail about a purchase price allocation, or there's a bigger company description for you, etc. So this additional notes field is where we can kind of expand and provide more details about the deal. And then you'll scroll down, and this is where you're going to see all your valuation multiples. So BVR, as you can see, will cover up to 6 valuation multiples. You'll see MVIC. Not everybody will use that term. It stands for market value of invested capital, or the sales price. So this would be your sales multiple, and then you have your performance, profitability ratios, etc. And so what this allows you to do is you can kind of go through and you can see a handful of recent comps, with your criteria, and it can really give you a nice benchmark on, what these, sales are going for, or these transactions are going for. One thing that I like to do too when I'm using the platform on Search Funder is I'll go to this the main BVR transactions, but then I'll go and I'll click on this click here for industry data, summary data. And this is where you can get the benchmarking for the entire industry as a whole with no filters, and then you can see all the transactions below. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. But this is kind of nice here. Like I said, if you don't know the NAICS code, you can actually just type in what you're looking for. I could type in HVAC, or I'm sorry, HVAC's not a good one, plumbing, etc., and start looking at the different NAICS codes and see which one fits my subject company the best. So you can do this by keyword, or you can type in a NAICS code. So I'm going to do that. Let's stick with HVAC. So what I did here is I selected my industry code, and now I'm going to get some quick benchmarking. So I can go, what's my EBITDA for this industry, and I can look right away. The median is just under 4 times. 70th percentile is just over 7. 25th percentile is 2.49. Just giving you some good industry statistics right off the bat. And then if you scroll down, we're right back to where we were before, right? So now we're looking at transactions in this space, so that you can get some quick benchmarking, and then you can go down and look at the underlying data that provides you with those benchmarking statistics. So this is usually where I jump to, you could do this at the beginning of your search, or towards the end, when you have an LOI. you can use this portion of the deal stats database on the platform for both. And so that's why I tend to send people this direction for just your initial research, right? So I wanted to also talk to you about if you're somebody who's in the transaction world, maybe you're in mergers and acquisitions, maybe do valuation, or you're a broker, and this is helpful to you, but you need more out of it. You can contact me directly, and I can work with you one-on-one or get you in touch with one of my colleagues, and they can discuss how you can access deal stats directly. Really, the only difference of the Search Funder platform and then the BVR platform at this point is that we're going to summarize the data for you. So if you went through, used several different filters, and you wanted to get a summary of these 50 comps or however many it is, the database will summarize it for you. And then obviously what you're paying for is to be able to purchase the data and export it right into Excel. So really those are the only differences between what BVR offers from our site and then what you're getting with Search Funder. But if you were a person that needed that extra boost with your deal stats access, let's say you wanted something to summarize all the data for you, you wanted to use all the different filters to get a peer group going, you want to export that data, that's something that I could help you with or get you in touch with one of my colleagues to help you with. You can contact me directly, obviously, from the platform. I'm on here quite a bit, often daily, answering questions, posting things on the feed. But you can also go to BVR transactions, and then you'll see a link for my contact here. So I've had people reach out to me on LinkedIn. I have people message me almost daily on Search Funder. You can post a comment under the several different BVR posts that have been made over the last few months. Anyway, send out a bat signal, whatever you want to do. I'll be around. BVR is a small company. We probably have 30 employees or less. So we have that one-on-one with our clients that you can't get with some of these other larger companies. And so that also kind of separates us and makes us unique, is that you get that one-on-one. If you had a question about publishing or market data, or you had a question about anything that BVR offers or how to get continuing education or anything like that, I can get you over to those departments, and the department heads are willing to speak to you, or they're going to have someone available that can work with you. So always feel free to reach out to either me directly or BVR, and I think that you'll be completely satisfied with the service that we provide. This is sort of BVR in a nutshell on the Search Funder platform. I know I walked through everything fairly quickly. As far as I know, my live stream will continue to stay on the Search Funder feed for a while, so you can kind of go back and review it and look at some of the search suggestions that I provided. So feel free to do that today. Or like I said, if you want to just call me or contact me directly, I'm happy to walk you through it. Some future programming that we want to do, I plan on doing, this type of live stream, 20, 30 minutes once a week, just for people who weren't available or didn't see it, didn't have a chance to hop on. So I will plan on doing that once a week. You'll see little tidbits in the feed from BVR. Last week, or it might have even been this week, I posted a Deal Stats Value Index PDF, and it's a quarterly update of all the data in the Deal Stats database. Might be something you want to kind of scroll through and try to find and download or review, obviously directly from the Search Funder platform. I've posted recently about in more detail than what I go through, obviously, in these live streams, of where the data comes from, just so you can feel comfortable using the data in your practice, in your reporting, however you want to use it. Like I said, BVR, Deal Stats in particular, is our flagship product. It's a go-to resource. You can feel super confident in using it. My clients use it in litigious situations, when they have to go to court and they are sharing, where they got their data for their market approach or whatever it may be. And so I just want to assure you guys that you can feel completely confident using our data in your daily research, in your LOIs, if you're in the M&A or valuation or, brokerage fields. This is a database that, like I said, has been used for over 3 decades at this point. And so just wanted to assure you guys, the quality of the data is there. And so please use it as often as you can, as much as you want. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And I appreciate all of your time today. For those of you that took the time to either watch it post, live stream, or took the time to just kind of hop in and check it out, I really do appreciate that time. But I really want you guys to take advantage of this awesome resource that Search Funder has provided you. Thanks, Luke and Mark, for working with BVR and growing this partnership and getting this data out to your searchers. I think this is going to be a great partnership, and look forward to answering your questions offline. And have a great rest of your day.